Hello watchers, welcome to the Recall Lab. Today we will gonna explain a 2016 action sci-fi movie which is based on a post-apocalyptic period. When Earth freezes, very few humans survive to board a special train, but now people start fighting for resources. So let's begin and watch out for spoilers. The movie begins in a period where Earth's temperature is decreased drastically because of a scientific experiment and everything freezes. Only those people who boarded on a special train manages to save their life, and are divided as rich and poor. And poor people lives on the backside of train, and their lives were miserable. Everyday guards came to count people, and now we see Curtis, who is among the poor people, and he discussed with Edgar that a time will come when we all will share same resources of the train. Then those guards distribute some brown bars as food for them. We see that Curtis is like a leader to people, and they all believe that he will make their lives somewhat better. And people always asked him that is the time has come to fight for themselves, and he says to wait a little more. Then we see that someone from the other side sent a secret message in those brown bars to Curtis, and he discussed about this to Gilliam. They believe that this guy will help them in fighting, but Edgar told that we cannot trust him because we don't even know him. Then Curtis and Gilliam plan to reach to the frontmost section and take control over the engine, so that they can control the whole train, and Curtis told he will kill Wilford, who was the current owner of the train. Then that night when Curtis and Edgar were talking, guard came and check whole section, then they take all kids with them and arrange them in line. And one lady came, she measures their height and select 2 kids. When she was going, father of one kid throw boot towards her and she starts bleeding. She didn't do anything and left the cabin. Next group of soldier came and Mason is their leader. They put that man's hand outside the train and she gave a speech on maintaining orders. That you all people are free travelers and it's our well gesture that we take you all with us on this train. After some time when they take in that person's hand, it was completed frozen, and then they break it. Then Gilliam stand and told Mason that he wants to meet Wilford. Next day they all collected all the steel drums that can and make a long tunnel-like structure. Curtis believed that the soldiers don't have bullets because all bullets were finished in the last war. Now when those soldiers came for head count, Curtis waited till all the doors open and orders them to run towards the door. They block the door with pipe and kill all the soldiers and reach to the next section. Here they found that person who helped them, and his name was Namgung Minsu. Curtis convinced Nam to help them, and Nam said that his daughter, whose name is Yona, will also coming with them. Then Nam opens next compartment's door, but people who live there already left and it was completely empty. But this compartment has windows, and for the first time after years they all see daylight. They see it's still frozen out there and no chance of life is possible out there. Then they move forward and reach to next compartment. In this, those brown blocks were made by machine, they call it protein blocks. Curtis found out that those blocks were made of cockroaches. In this section, Curtis found another capsule in which a clue was written to take control over the water supply. Water supply pipeline is few compartments ahead of them. Gilliam suggests that if we take control over water, then they will listen our demand. But when they reach to next compartment, it is completely filled with guards who has axes with them and were waiting for them. Then both the groups start fighting and many members died. Then Mason came and tried to convince everyone that they have maintained law and order, otherwise no one will survive in this train. And then all the guards were night vision glasses because they knew that train will pass from a very long tunnel. Curtis and his members were not able to see anything, and those guards easily killing them one by one. But then other members bring torch by which they manages to see them and start giving them a tough fight. In the end Curtis captures Mason and stops the fight, and he saws that Edgar died in the fight. After that they interrogate with Mason and she agreed to help them to reach to the engine. In return they have to let her go after that. Now Curtis take few mans and Mason with him and they start moving forward. They start crossing compartments one by one and they reach to the compartment where children studies. They search their children, but they were not there. One boy said he sees them going towards the next compartment few days ago. After some time a man came with many eggs as present for children, but it turned out it was a trick, and below those eggs there were many guns. That teacher starts shooting at them and that man freed other guards and they kill Gilliam. They kill that teacher, and now Curtis is their new leader and he decides that we should move forward. Next when they move forward in train, those guards follow them. They manages to reach to the next compartment which has steam bath in it. So they all hide themselves. They kill one guard, but their leader is too strong and he killed Tanya. Nam, Yona and Curtis together manages to kill him. Now they start moving forward. They were shocked that people are doing party here and they have to live their life on the backside like hell. Then they reach to the final gate. Here Curtis asks Nam to open the gate, but Nam refuses and they start fighting. When they stop, Curtis explained that when this train starts 18 years ago, we were trapped on the backside with no food, and after 1 month people start eating each other. Curtis was also among them, and that's why he hated himself, and Gilliam was the one who stops everyone from doing this. Then Nam says that we all must go outside the train, we can survive there. And the only reason he came this long with them because there is a gate which they can destroy and go outside. Nam says that with time ice is melting and we can survive outside the train. Nam make bomb with chronals and try to destroy the gate, but then the door opens and that lady shoots Nam and asks Curtis to join her as Wilson wants to meet him. There Curtis first time meet Wilson. Wilson praise him as he was the first man who manages to make it to the engine. Then Wilson explains that everything on this train is balanced, and we are the people who has the responsibility that the balance should be maintained. Balance in every aspect, whether it is food, water, space, or even population. And when the population increases, Wilson and Gilliam found solution that we will start a civil war to maintain the balance. But Curtis didn't believe him. And finally Wilson called to the tail end compartment and ordered them to kill all the people, and Curtis hears sound of gunfire from the phone. And we see that Wilson was the one who was sending those messages to them. He said that he is getting old now and wants that Curtis should take his place to run the train. Then we see Yona place the bomb on the gate and asked for matchstick from Curtis. Curtis was in a dilemma what to choose, because he was somewhat convinced with Wilson. But then he sees that Tim is working inside the engine and he realizes that it is wrong, so he punches Wilson and give matchstick to Yona. He stops the rotator and take out Tim. Then Yona lights the bomb. Door was not closing, so Curtis and Nam hugged them to save them from fire. Then with the blast the door was opened, and because of the shock from the mountains large part of ice start moving down towards the train. It hits the train and it got derailed. Most of the compartments fell in the valley. Then Yona and Tim wakes up and only they survive the explosion. Yona gains some courage and take Tim with him and went outside the train. After some time she sees a polar bear at some distance, which confirms that the global temperature is rising slowly and they can survive outside the train. The movie ends here.